Tonight arrives without asking anything of you. There is no schedule to follow here, no moment to catch up with, no reason to stay alert. Somewhere, the world continues at its own pace. But here, in this quiet place, the night moves more slowly, as if it has already decided that nothing needs to happen. The streets are calm. Lights rest softly behind windows. Everything that needed to be done has already been done, and everything else can wait. There is a gentle stillness settling in, not because something is missing, but because nothing is required. You don't need to prepare for anything. You don't need to respond, decide, or keep up. This night is complete exactly as it is. The air feels steady, unhurried, as though time itself has chosen to pause for a while. In places like this, nothing asks for your attention. Nothing calls your name. Nothing expects an answer. You can simply rest here, letting the quiet hold everything for you. And as the night continues, slowly and gently, you may notice how easy it becomes to do nothing at all. The small town rests under a sky that holds no urgency. Streets stretch empty beneath lamplight that glows without effort, without purpose beyond existing. Each post stands where it has always stood, casting the same soft circles onto pavement that knows the weight of silence. Windows glow amber in the distance, not bright enough to call attention, not dim enough to suggest absence, just present, just there. The kind of light that asks for nothing and offers the same in return. Above, the winter sky holds itself still. No clouds move across it. No wind disturbs the cold air that settles between buildings and along empty sidewalks. Everything remains exactly as it is, with no inclination to become anything else. The quietness here has substance. It fills the spaces between things. It rests on rooftops and settles into doorways. It moves through the town like something alive, but unhurried, taking its time with each corner, each shadow, each moment that passes without needing to announce itself. There is no hurry here, no reason to move faster than the night allows. The world may continue elsewhere, but here, in this small collection of streets and buildings, time has agreed to slow down. A figure walks along the sidewalk, not quickly, not with any particular destination pulling her forward, just walking because the night is there and the street is empty and there is nowhere else she needs to be. She wears a coat that has been worn many times before. The fabric holds the shape of her shoulders, familiar with the way she moves. Her hands stay in her pockets, not from cold, but from habit, the kind of gesture that requires no thought. Her breath clouds in the air, small and brief, disappearing before it can travel far. She watches it for a moment, the way it forms and fades, over and over, with each exhale. There is something quietly satisfying in this, the rhythm of it, the proof that she is here, moving through this stillness, leaving no trace behind. The sound of her footsteps is soft. The pavement beneath her feet makes no protest. Each step lands gently, deliberately, as if she has learned that rushing serves no purpose on a night like this. She passes a bench, slows, stops, looks at it for a moment longer than necessary. The wood is dark with age, smooth from use, familiar in the way that public things become when they have been there long enough to be forgotten and then remembered again. She does not sit, not yet. But she stands there, considering it, as if the bench itself has asked her a question she is still deciding how to answer. Around her, the town continues its quiet existence. A light flickers briefly in a window, then steadies. Somewhere, a door closes softly. Not a slam, not an interruption. Just the sound of something being gently secured for the night. The air carries no scent of celebration. No distant laughter. No music drifting from open doors. Whatever is happening elsewhere is happening without her, and she is here without it, and neither fact holds any weight. She moves her hand from her pocket and touches the back of the bench. Her fingers trace the edge of the wood, feeling the grain, the small imperfections that time has pressed into it. She does not think about why she does this. She simply does it. After a moment, she continues walking. The bench remains behind her, unchanged, patient, as if it knows she may return or may not, and either outcome is equally acceptable. The street curves gently ahead. She follows it without question, her pace unchanged, her breathing steady. The cold air moves past her face, neither harsh nor kind. Just cold, just air, just the night as it is. Above her, the sky holds its stillness. The stars, if they are there, make no effort to be noticed. The moon, wherever it rests, offers no commentary. Everything simply exists, side by side, without need for connection or meaning. She thinks of nothing in particular, or perhaps she thinks of many things, but none of them demand attention. They pass through her mind like the breath that clouds before her, visible for a moment, then gone, leaving no residue. There is a comfort in this, in the not thinking, in the not needing to think, in the permission to simply move through space without purpose, without destination, without the weight of expectation. She has walked this street before, many times, but tonight it feels different, though she could not say why. Perhaps it is the particular quality of the silence, or the way the light falls, soft and unassuming. Or perhaps it is simply that she is here, now, and that is enough. A window ahead glows warmer than the others. She notices this, but does not linger on it. Someone is there, behind the glass, living their own quiet evening. She does not wonder about them, does not construct stories or imagine lives. She simply notes the light and continues. Her pace remains constant, not slow enough to suggest reluctance, not fast enough to suggest purpose, just the natural rhythm of someone who has nowhere to be and all the time in the world to get there. The town square opens ahead of her, small and modest, centered by a fountain that has been turned off for winter. The basin holds darkness instead of water, a pool of shadow that reflects nothing. She crosses to it and stops at its edge. The stone rim is wide enough to sit on. She does. The cold of it seeps through her coat immediately, but she does not shift or stand. She lets the cold be there, present and real, without needing to change it. From here, she can see most of the square. The shops, all closed. The street lamps, all glowing. The empty benches, the quiet sidewalks, the buildings that stand as they have always stood, holding their shape against the night. Nothing moves, nothing changes. The world has paused here, or perhaps it has simply decided that movement is not required. She breathes in, holds it, lets it go. The cold air fills her lungs completely. and when she exhales, the cloud of breath hangs before her for just a moment longer than before, as if reluctant to disappear. There is something about sitting here, in the center of this emptiness, that feels like permission. Permission to be still. Permission to do nothing. Permission to exist without justification. She thinks of the word celebration, rolls it through her mind without attachment. Somewhere, people are gathered. Somewhere, voices are raised in joy or tradition or obligation. Somewhere, the night is filled with light and sound and movement, but not here. Here, the night is gentle and undemanding. Here, the silence has weight and texture. Here, nothing is expected. She does not feel left out. She does not feel lonely. She simply feels here, which is its own complete thing, needing nothing added to it. Her hands rest in her lap. She looks at them for a moment. Familiar hands with familiar lines, familiar scars from years of use. They are still, not fidgeting, not searching for something to hold, just resting. The fountain's edge presses against her legs. The cold continues to seep through fabric and skin. She lets it. There is no need to move, no need to find warmth. The cold is simply what is, and she is simply here, and both things exist together without conflict. A sound reaches her, distant, muffled. Perhaps a door opening and closing. Perhaps a car passing streets away. Perhaps nothing at all. Just the sound of silence shifting shape. She listens, but does not strain to identify it. It comes, it goes, and the quiet returns. Time moves, though she could not say how much has passed. Minutes, perhaps, or longer. It does not matter. There are no clocks here demanding acknowledgement. No schedules insisting on attention. Just the slow, steady progression of one moment into the next. She stands eventually, not because she has decided to leave, but because her body suggests movement and she does not resist. She walks to the other side of the square, past the closed bakery with its dark windows, past the small bookshop with its hand-painted sign, past the corner where the street turns and disappears into darkness. She stops at this corner, looks down the street that leads away, considers following it, going somewhere else, continuing her walk into neighborhoods she does not know, but she does not. She turns back instead, retracing her path across the square, past the fountain, back toward the street she came from. Repetition has its own comfort. The same stones beneath her feet, the same lights casting the same shadows, the same cold air moving past her face. There is safety in the familiar, even when the familiar is emptiness. She passes a small cafe, windows dark, chairs stacked on tables inside. Through the glass, she can see the counter, the coffee machine standing silent, the shelves holding cups that wait for morning. She has been here before, many mornings. The memory arrives without effort. The smell of coffee, the warmth of the interior, the quiet conversations of early risers. But that is a different version of this place. That is a different time. Right now, it is simply a dark building with chairs stacked on tables, and that is all it needs to be. She continues. The street narrows slightly, residential now, houses instead of shops. Each one holds its own quiet life behind closed doors and drawn curtains. She does not wonder about them, does not imagine the people inside, their evenings, their thoughts, their reasons for being where they are. They are there, she is here. Both things exist without needing to intersect. A cat appears on a porch. Dark fur barely visible against darker shadows. Yellow eyes that catch the lamplight and hold it for a moment before the cat turns and disappears beneath a shrub. She stops, looks at the space where the cat was, smiles, though the smile is small and private, not meant for anyone else. Just a quiet acknowledgement of a small moment that required nothing from her and offered nothing in return except its own brief existence. The night deepens around her, not darker exactly, just more settled, more committed to its own stillness. The cold becomes more present, pressing closer, reminding her that it is winter and she is outside, and her body will eventually need warmth, but not yet, not quite yet. She reaches a small park, barely more than a patch of grass with a few trees and a path cutting through the middle. She enters it, following the path, not because it leads anywhere in particular, but because it is there and she is walking and paths are meant to be followed. The trees stand bare, branches reaching upward in patterns that seem both random and deliberate. She looks up at them, at the way they divide the sky into sections, creating shapes that exist only from this angle, at this moment. A bench appears beside the path. Older than the one before, wood more weathered, she sits. This time without hesitation. The cold comes immediately, but she is prepared for it now, expecting it, accepting it as part of the experience. From here, she can see very little. The park is small. The trees block most of the view. But this limited perspective feels appropriate, feels right. There is no need to see everything. No need to know what lies beyond the immediate space she occupies. She leans back against the bench, lets her head rest against the wood, closes her eyes, not to sleep, but to focus on what she can hear. The silence is not complete. There are sounds within it. The faint whisper of branches moving, though she feels no wind. The distant hum of something mechanical, too far away to identify. The soft creak of the bench beneath her as she shifts slightly. These sounds do not disturb the quiet. They are part of it. They give it texture, depth, dimension. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the absence of sound that demands attention. She opens her eyes. The sky above is the same as before. Dark, still, patient. She watches it for a while, though there is nothing to watch. Just the steadiness of it, the way it holds itself without effort. Her breathing slows, matches the rhythm of the night. In, out, in, out. No rush, no need to fill her lungs quickly or empty them completely. Just the natural pace of someone at rest. She thinks about the word rest, how it means both stillness and recovery, how it suggests both an end and a preparation for beginning again, how it holds contradictions without tension. She is resting now, here on this bench, in this small park, in this quiet town, and in resting, she is not waiting for anything, not preparing, not recovering, just being still because stillness is what this moment offers. Time continues its slow progression. She does not track it, does not count minutes or estimate how long she has been sitting here. The only measure that matters is her own sense of when it is time to move again, and that sense has not yet arrived. A light goes out in a nearby house. She notices this from the corner of her eye. A window that was amber is now dark. Someone has gone to bed, or simply turned off a lamp, or moved to another room. She does not know which, and it does not matter. The town is settling more deeply into night. Each light that goes out, each door that closes, each person who chooses rest over wakefulness adds to the collective quiet. She is part of this now, part of the settling, part of the gentle movement towards stillness, not separate from it, observing from outside, but within it, contributing her own small measure of quiet to the whole. Eventually, she stands. The bench releases her without protest. She looks at it for a moment, as if memorizing it, though she has seen it before and will see it again. Then she turns and continues along the path, through the park, back toward the street. Her pace has slowed even more, each step deliberate, each placement of her foot a choice made consciously, not from habit. She has been walking for a long time now, though she could not say how long, and her body is beginning to feel the hours, the cold, the persistent movement. But there is no discomfort in this, just awareness. Just the recognition that she has been moving and will eventually need to stop. The street rises slightly ahead of her, a gentle incline that she has walked many times before. At the top, she knows, is her building, her apartment, the place she will eventually return to, but not yet. She is not ready for walls and warmth and the interior space that contains her daily life. She is still part of the night, still moving through the quiet, still permitting herself this extended moment of not being anywhere specific. She reaches the top of the incline, stops, turns, looks back at the town spread below her. From here, she can see the whole of it. The streets laid out in their simple grid, the lights still glowing in scattered windows, the square with its dark fountain, the shops with their closed doors, the park with its bare trees. It is small, this town, modest, unremarkable in most ways. But tonight, from this vantage point, it feels like exactly enough, not too large to comprehend, not too small to contain life, just the right size for existing quietly within. She stands there for a long time, looking, not thinking about what she sees, not assigning meaning or emotion to the view, just looking, because it is there and she is here, and looking is what eyes do. The cold becomes more insistent. Her fingers, even in her pockets, begin to lose their warmth. Her face feels tight from exposure. Her body, patient until now, begins to suggest that perhaps it is time to go inside. She listens to this suggestion, considers it, then agrees. She turns toward her building, a 3-story structure, red brick, with 6 apartments total. Hers is on the 2nd floor, facing the street. The window glows softly. She left a lamp on before leaving, a habit developed over years of returning home to darkness and not liking it. The entrance is unlocked, as it always is. She pushes through the door into the small lobby. The warmth hits her immediately, almost aggressive after so long in the cold. She pauses, letting her body adjust, feeling the contrast between outside and inside. The stairs creak under her weight. A familiar sound, a sound that has marked her arrivals and departures for 3 years now. She climbs slowly, one hand on the railing, her footsteps echoing softly in the enclosed space. Her door is at the end of the hall, number 2C. The brass numbers are tarnished, have been since she moved in. She has never bothered to polish them. They seem fine as they are. She unlocks the door, steps inside, closes it behind her with a soft click. The apartment greets her with familiar silence, different from the silence outside, more contained, more personal, the kind of quiet that belongs to her alone. She removes her coat, hangs it on the hook by the door. The fabric is cold to the touch, holding the temperature of the night within its fibers. It will warm slowly, returning to room temperature, forgetting the cold as thoroughly as she will. Her apartment is small. Living room, kitchen, bedroom, bath. Everything necessary, nothing excessive. The lamp she left on sits on a side table, casting warm light across the couch, the bookshelf, the small rug that covers the center of the wooden floor. She moves through the space without turning on additional lights. The single lamp is enough, more than enough. It creates pools of shadow that feel appropriate, that give the room depth and texture without demanding examination. She goes to the kitchen, fills the kettle with water, sets it on the stove, turns the burner on low. The gas ignites with a soft whoosh, blue flames settling into steady circles beneath the kettle. While the water heats, she stands at the counter. Her hands rest on the surface, feeling the cool solidity of it. She is still wearing her shoes, still dressed for outside, but she does not rush to change. There is time. There is always time. The kettle begins to murmur, not whistling yet, just the first sounds of water beginning to move, to heat, to transform from one state toward another. She listens to this progression, finds it soothing in a way she does not need to explain. She selects a mug from the cabinet, plain white, slightly chipped on the rim. A mug she has had for years, brought from a previous apartment, from a previous version of her life. It still works, still holds liquid, still serves its purpose. That is all a mug needs to do. The kettle whistles softly. She removes it from the heat before the whistle can become insistent. Pours water into the mug over the tea bag she has placed there. The water darkens immediately, turning amber, releasing steam that rises and disperses. She carries the mug to the living room, sets it on the small table beside the couch. Sits. The couch cushions accept her weight with familiar give. She has sat here countless times, in this exact position, at this exact hour, though the hours have varied and the reasons for sitting have differed. Tonight, she sits because she has finished walking and the couch is here and sitting is what comes next. The tea steeps. She does not touch it yet, just watches the steam rise, the way it curls and disappears, over and over with each passing moment. Through the window, she can see the street below, still empty, still quiet. A few lights remain on in other buildings, but fewer now than when she left. The night is winning, slowly claiming each lit window, inviting each person toward rest. She feels tired now, not exhausted, but tired in the gentle way that comes at the end of a long, quiet evening. The kind of tiredness that suggests sleep will come easily, without struggle, without the endless turning of thoughts that sometimes keeps her awake. She picks up the mug, tests the temperature against her lip. Still too hot. She sets it down again. Patience has become easier tonight. Everything has become easier. The not trushing, the not doing, the not dash needing dash to dash be dash anything dash other dash then dash what dash she dash is. She leans back into the couch, lets her head rest against the cushion. Her eyes remain open, but barely. She is looking at the room, but not seeing it. Just aware of the space around her, the warmth, the safety of walls and roof and the lamp that continues glowing softly. The tea cools. She will drink it eventually. But for now, it can simply sit there, existing alongside her, both of them present in this room, in this moment, requiring nothing from each other. Outside, the night deepens further. Inside, the lamp glows steady and warm. The world, wherever it is, whatever it is doing, continues without her participation. And here, in this small apartment, in this quiet town, on this particular night, she discovers something she had not known she was looking for. The permission to stop, not temporarily, not with the intention of starting again soon, but truly stop, to be still, to do nothing, to expect nothing, to need nothing. Nothing is expected here. Not celebration, not joy, not participation, not even happiness in the conventional sense. Just this, just the quiet, just the stillness, just the gentle, persistent fact of being alive and present and allowed to rest. The tea has cooled enough now. She lifts the mug, brings it to her lips, drinks slowly. The warmth spreads through her, subtle and gradual, not a flood, but a gentle tide. She drinks half the tea, sets the mug down, closes her eyes completely now. The darkness behind her eyelids is soft, not absolute. The lamp's glow penetrates, creating amber shadows that shift slightly with each small movement of her head. She breathes, in, out, the rhythm that has carried her through the entire evening, that will carry her through the night, through sleep, through whatever comes next. Her body settles more deeply into the couch. Muscles release tension she had not known she was carrying. The cold of the evening, the walking, the hours and the winter air all begin to fade, replaced by warmth and safety and the profound relief of having nowhere else to be. The town outside continues its quiet existence. Streets remain empty. Lights continue to glow and go dark. The sky holds its position above it all, patient and unchanging. Inside, the lamp glows. The tea sits cooling in its mug. The apartment wraps itself around her like something alive, something that knows her, something that asks nothing and gives everything. She does not sleep yet, but she is close, very close, hovering in that space between waking and rest, where thoughts lose their edges and sounds become distant and the world becomes soft. There is no rush, no deadline for sleep, no requirement to be anywhere, to do anything, to become anyone other than who she already is. She simply rests, here now, in this moment that asks nothing and gives everything. And the night, gentle and endless, continues to hold her. The lamp's light wavers slightly, though there is no draft. Just the natural fluctuation of electricity moving through old wiring, through a bulb that has glowed for months without complaint. She notices this, even with her eyes closed. The slight change in the quality of darkness against her eyelids. She does not open her eyes to investigate, does not need to. The lamp will continue glowing, or it will not, and either outcome is acceptable. Time loses meaning, has perhaps been meaningless for a while now, though she is only noticing it fully at this moment. There is no clock visible from where she sits, no device demanding attention, no way to mark the passage of minutes except through the slow cooling of tea, the gradual deepening of tiredness, the gentle drift towards sleep. Her breathing slows even more, becomes barely perceptible. Each breath takes longer, reaches less deeply, requires less effort. Her body is learning what the night already knows, that nothing needs to happen here. That stillness is not absence, but presence. That rest is not emptiness, but fullness. A sound reaches her, distant, muffled through walls and windows and the space between her consciousness and the world outside. Perhaps a car, perhaps a door, perhaps nothing at all. She does not investigate, does not wonder, just notes the sound and lets it pass, the way she has let everything pass tonight, without grasping, without holding, without needing to know or understand or make meaning. The couch holds her completely now. She has found the exact position that requires no adjustment. Her neck rests at the perfect angle. Her legs are positioned without tension. Her arms lie still, hands loose, fingers uncurled. She is, in this moment, exactly where she needs to be, not in the future, preparing for tomorrow, not in the past, reviewing what has already happened. Just here, just now, just this. The tea is forgotten. The mug sits on the table, still half full, still releasing faint wisps of steam, though the tea has gone lukewarm. It does not matter. The tea has served its purpose simply by existing, by being part of this evening, by giving her something to hold and then something to set down. Through the window, if she were to look, she would see that more lights have gone dark. The town is nearly asleep now. Only a few scattered windows remain lit, and these too will darken soon as their occupants choose rest, choose surrender, choose the gentle obliteration of consciousness that sleep provides. She is part of this now, part of the collective settling, part of the town's slow exhalation, not separate, not alone, but woven into the fabric of this quiet night, this small place, this moment that contains multitudes within its simplicity. Her thoughts, which have been minimal throughout the evening, become even more sparse. Not thoughts exactly, but impressions, sensations, the awareness of warmth, the feeling of safety, the recognition that her body is tired and the tiredness is welcome. Nothing dramatic has happened. No revelation has arrived. No profound understanding has crystallized. And yet, something has shifted. Something has changed in a way too subtle to name, but too real to deny. The expectation is gone. That nameless, shapeless thing that hovers always at the edges of consciousness, insisting that something should be happening, that she should be doing, that the moment should contain more than it does. It is gone, not pushed away or fought against or overcome, simply absent, left behind somewhere on the walk through empty streets, or dissolved in the cold air, or released in the countless small moments of stopping, and looking and allowing herself to be exactly where she was. Nothing is expected. The phrase moves through her mind, but gently, without emphasis. Not a revelation, not even a realization, just a fact, simple, true, complete. She does not need to celebrate, does not need to participate, does not need to be anywhere except here, in this apartment, on this couch, in this body that has carried her through another day and now asks only for rest. The lamp continues glowing. The town continues settling. The night continues holding everything within its dark embrace. And she, finally, completely allows herself to rest. Not sleep yet, but close. So close that the difference hardly matters. Her breathing becomes almost imperceptible. The rise and fall of her chest barely visible. Her face relaxes completely, releasing expressions she did not know she was holding, returning to the neutral state that faces adopt when no one is watching, when no performance is required. The warmth of the apartment wraps around her. The couch cushions accept her weight without protest. The lamp glows without demanding attention. Everything is as it should be. Not perfect, not ideal, not even particularly special. Just sufficient, just enough, just exactly what this moment requires and nothing more. The tea, forgotten on the table, has gone cold now. The mug sits there, faithful and patient, holding liquid that will not be drunk but has already served its purpose by being prepared, by being present, by being part of the gentle ritual of an evening that asked for nothing and gave everything. Outside, the last few lights go dark. The town sleeps now, completely, deeply, without reservation or second thought. Inside, she hovers in that borderless space between waking and sleep. Not quite one, not quite the other, just floating, suspended, held by something larger than herself, but containing her completely. Her last conscious thought is not really a thought at all, just an awareness, a recognition, a soft acknowledgement that this night, this quiet, this permission to simply be is enough, more than enough. The lamp glows steady and warm. The apartment holds her gently. The darkness beyond the window is complete now, absolute, but not frightening, just dark, just night. Just the world as it is when celebration ends and expectation fades and all that remains is rest. She lets go, finally, completely, without resistance or regret. And the night, patient as it has been from the beginning, receives her. Nothing more needs to happen. Nothing more will happen. Just this. Just quiet. Just the slow, steady progression towards sleep and the peace that comes when nothing is expected and nothing is required. The lamp continues glowing. The town continues sleeping. The night continues holding everything within its gentle, endless dark. And she rests, completely, finally, deeply, in a place where nothing is expected, where nothing needs to happen, where the only requirement is to be exactly what she already is, here, now, safe. The world can continue without her, and it does, and it will. And that is perfectly, completely, absolutely fine.